Gentlemen, today is March 21st, 1918, and the weapons used in this war are advancing. As Germany carries out Operation Michael today, we are brought on the subject of war technology. These weapons used are proving quite devastating in recent battles, but a recent weapon was introduced called chemical warfare. Chemical warfare is the process of using gases or poison to burn, blind, or even kill enemies. My field reporter Savannah will be discussing the topic of Operation Michael. So, Savannah, how are the chemicals helping in Operation Michael?
Thank you, Zane. I'm here in St. Quentin. Earlier today, the Germans have attacked. They used chemical warfare, using mustard gas, but it wasn't quite as successful as they had hoped. You see, as the chemical warfare had gained much more popularity throughout the war, defenses were made, and it wasn't such a surprise when these attacks were made. So here in St. Quentin, the Germans attacked using mustard gas, as they had done at the Battle of Ypres in 1914. But the city was well equipped with defenses to combat this gas. It wasn't as much of a military feat as the Germans had hoped. And we have seen this throughout the war, that as this gas gains popularity, the defenses also improve. We're waiting to see how this follows through in the end of the war. Thank you, Zane. Now, back to you, Zane.
Savannah, it seems even one of the most devastating weapons has its flaws. Now, Lance and Jorah will be describing some of the types of chemical weapons used in recent battles. Lance, what do you have to show us today?
Thank you, Zane. The French first used tear gas against the Germans in August of 1914. By launching gas grenades at the trenches, they broke the Hubing Conventions that banned chemical warfare. After gaining the proof they needed, German high command felt Germany was free to use even more deadly gases against France. And when they did, they launched a chlorine attack in April of 1915, and then it was a downhill battle from there.
With chemical warfare also came some pros and cons. A bad thing was that it was used so widely, which meant that it was killing more and more people. A good thing was that it was supposed to put an end to war and also break trench warfare. Two of many examples were sternuators and blister agents. Sternuators cause sneezing, irritation, and vomiting. Blister agents cause pain in the eye area, the lungs, and the throat while causing blisters later on. This was gruesome and affected the soldiers in many ways. Now back to you, Zane.
Jorah, interesting. I never knew that chemicals would be used as weapons. Quite a devastating type of warfare. Now, my field reporter Samantha will be interviewing a soldier that will share his personal story with us. Samantha, what do you have to show us today?
Go.
Thank you, Zane. I'm here to go in depth on what chemical warfare is and how it personally affects people. Sir, what is your experience with chemical gas?
We were in a war. It was very difficult for everyone. We had extensive training on chemical warfare, but we never expected it to happen. When it did, it was quite devastating. It hurt our eyes, our lungs. Our minds were basically dysfunctional. We had a very hard time, but we knew we had to survive. All of us were depending on each other to survive.
What was your emotional experience with chemical gas?
Mentally, it was very difficult. But again, the whole thought was, you must survive. You are in a battle for life. You will survive.
And on the battlefields, you were often surrounded by comrades. What was this experience like with chemical gas?
It was basically a fact that I knew if I could survive, that would help others survive. So we all had to work together, and our main goal was to win and survive.
Thank you. As we see technologies advance, we see the battlefield become more and more brutal. We want to thank all those soldiers that have put in their time and effort for their country. As we follow the experiences of our soldiers, I ask you to think about how you can honor their courage with your own. Giving more to you as it develops. Back to you, Zane.
That must have been truly terrifying. Overall, chemical warfare will surely change the tides of the battles. That's all the time we have for today. We look forward to supplying you with more news on the war, but we are signing off.